Hi, I'm Jaime Koch with NRHA and Hardware Retailing Magazine, and today we have Scott Wright, Director of Member Services for NRHA. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So now, Scott, each year NRHA produces the Cost of Doing Business study, and as I understand it, the 2010 study was recently released.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
can you tell me a little bit about what the Cost of Doing Business study is and who participates in it?
Absolutely. As you said, each year we produce the cost of doing business study. And what it is, Jamie, is a compilation of income statements and balance sheets from hardware stores, home centers, and lumber yards throughout the industry. Basically, their financial information that they send to us. We send them a survey. They fill it out, send it back to us, and then we compile all the information and produce this cumulative report at the end of the process. And as you said, it takes about 6 months to compile the results, and then we produce the booklet each year, which is here on the table in front of us.
That sounds like a great resource for retailers. How would a retailer go about using this study?
Well, we release the study in the fall of each year because it's budgeting time for most stores. So the way most retailers use the study is to take a look at their financial information and then compare their results with the industry averages and the benchmarks that are compiled in the study. I say benchmarks because of the retailers who submit financial information to the group. We take the top 25% of that group as ranked by their net profit percentage, and we call that group the high profit group.
Sure.
So they can compare their financial information line item by line item to both the average for their store type as well as the high profit group for their store type.
Okay, so now how is the cost of doing business study broken out by, I know there's a lot of different kind of stores out there.
Yeah. Uh, the three store types that we take a look at in the study: hardware stores, home centers, which, as is defined in the study, is a hybrid hardware store lumber operation. They do about half their business in the core hard lines categories, doing the other half in lumber and building material related categories. Also, those stores do about half their business with professional customers. And then also LBM outlets as well, which do their primary business with professional customers.
Oh, great.
Now, we also break the study out by store sales volume. Then we also take a look at the historical averages, going back 5 years, so they can compare from year to year how things are doing in each of those line item categories, which is really important, especially in the recession that we're just now emerging from. To take a look at those results, they can go back several years to see how they're doing.
Wow, so it seems like NRHA is really taking a lot of the work out for these retailers with this resource.
Yes, we really are. We have about 660 stores who submitted the information to us, representing about 920 outlets. So it's a great survey sample, and a lot of the retailers we talk to actually use this information also by taking it to their lenders, to their bankers, to when they're trying to secure financing for hopefully growth of their operations. They can look at that and show that to their banker, someone outside of the industry, to show what the industry averages are.
So now what were some of the key findings from the report?
Well, it was really mixed results, Jamie, by store type. We saw hardware stores were flat last year, and again, this is 2009 year-end numbers compared to 2008 year-end numbers. They were down about 0.2% in sales at the top line, but still managed to have a pretty healthy bottom line of 2.2%, which was down slightly from 2008 numbers as well. And this was quite an accomplishment when considering that customer counts for these stores, for hardware stores, dropped by about 4,000 customers last year. So to be able to remain flat at the top line was quite an accomplishment.
Sure.
When you look at home centers, it was slightly a different story. Obviously, home centers do more of their sales in lumber and building material categories, and with the state of home building in this during the recession, they took a hit at the top line. Their sales were off about 12% last year, but they still managed through tight expense controls to bring a bottom line in of about 1%. Lumber yards, it was a bit of a mixed result there too, because their sales were actually up last year, which is kind of counterintuitive with home building. But I think they had such a poor year in 2008 that it was an increase on what was a really negative year for them. But at the bottom line, lumber yards lost money last year. Their bottom line was negative 0.2%.
Well, that was some great information, and I know the study is chock full of other great information. So, how would a retailer go about getting their own copy?
Well, they can order it directly on nrha.org. The paper copy for members is $48 versus $98 for non-members. But we also have an electronic edition of the study that's available free for NRHA members. It's in the members-only section, so they just log in, and it's under the CODB heading. Online, they can also, there's an online calculator where they can plug in their information. It actually can convert everything to a percentage of sales, where then they can compare by line item how they compare with average and high profit stores for each store type.
Now, if any retailers have any questions about the study or need to contact NRHA, how would they do that?
Well, they can contact me directly, or they can contact our member services coordinator, Patty Bowman, at our 1-800 number, which is 800-772-4424.